There is a reason the most dangerous men in history were often the quietest. Not because they lacked words, but because they understood their cost. In ancient Japan, a careless sentence could invite death, disgrace, or war. So the samurai learned something modern people have forgotten. Silence is not absence. Silence is control. Chapter 1. The Weight of Words. In Bushido, speech was never casual. A word spoken could not be retrieved. To speak was to commit, not only to meaning, but to consequence. Samurai were trained to observe before acting and to listen before speaking. This discipline was not politeness, it was survival. Miyamoto Musashi, undefeated in over 60 duels, wrote little and spoke less. In the Book of Five Rings, he warned that excessive speech reveals disorder in the mind. A man who talks constantly advertises his inner instability. Silence, by contrast, conceals intention. And what is concealed cannot easily be attacked. Chapter 2. A modern man who could not be silent. Consider a man named Daniel, not a warrior, not a monk, just an ordinary man in a loud world. Daniel filled every silence, meetings, conversations, arguments, with explanations. He justified himself. He defended himself. He spoke to avoid discomfort, but the more he spoke, the weaker he felt. People interrupted him, ignored him, challenged him more. His words no longer carried weight, because there were too many of them. What Daniel did not understand was this: noise dilutes authority. Chapter 3. Zen and the Power of Restraint. Zen monks taught that the mind reveals itself in speech. Restless speech comes from a restless spirit. In Zen practice, silence is not forced, it is cultivated. By sitting, breathing, observing, one learns to endure inner discomfort without reacting. The samurai adopted this discipline to remain calm under threat. A man who can endure silence can endure pressure. A man who must speak is already compromised. When Musashi wrote his final text, Dokodo, he advised, "Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love." He could have added, "Do not let yourself be guided by the urge to speak." Chapter 4. The first act of discipline. Daniel encountered this idea by accident, not through a book, but through failure. In a tense conversation, he chose not to explain himself, not to defend, not to fill the gap. The silence was uncomfortable, but something unexpected happened. The other person began to speak more carefully, then more honestly. Daniel realized, silence forces others to reveal themselves. This was the first non-negotiable act of discipline. One small rule: do not speak unless it improves the situation or deepens clarity. Chapter 5. Silence as identity. For the samurai, silence was not a tactic. It was an identity. To speak little was to signal self-command. To remain calm was to signal readiness. A warrior who speaks excessively seeks validation. A warrior who is silent trusts his presence. Over time, Daniel changed how he saw himself. He stopped being someone who reacted. He became someone who observed. He did not withdraw from the world. He moved through it with fewer words and greater precision. Silence became his armor. Chapter 6. What silence eliminates. Silence removes unnecessary conflict. It eliminates impulsive emotion. It starves ego. In Japanese culture, chinmoku, intentional silence, was a form of respect and strength. To speak only when necessary preserved harmony and authority. Most people speak to be seen. The disciplines speak only when needed. This is why silence feels threatening. It exposes what noise hides. Chapter 7. The final lesson. The samurai did not worship silence. They mastered it. They understood that every word should be sharpened, like a blade, used sparingly, with intent. In a world addicted to expression, restraint becomes power. In a culture of noise, silence becomes presence. If you wish to cultivate discipline, begin here, not with more effort, but with less speech, because the man who controls his tongue is already training to control his mind. Conclusion. Calm close. Silence is not emptiness, it is space, and in that space, clarity emerges. Strength settles, and intention becomes unshakable. The samurai knew this. Now, so do you.